Welcome to day 6 of AI and data science interview question for freshers. 5 questions into 100 days, 500 interview questions in data science and AI challenge. Now let's see the 26th question. Why pandas in AI and data science? What's the purpose? Pandas is a Python library which is used for data manipulation and analysis. This is a keyword which you should never forget: data manipulation and analysis. Its two primary data structures are series and data frame. One is used for creating one dimensional labeled array, and data frame is used for two dimensional labeled data structure, similar to a table in SQL or Excel. For example, let's create a series and data frame using pandas. The first step is importing pandas as PD. The next step is we are storing that inside a variable called s. Inside that variable, we are storing a series of numbers 10, 20, and 30 with the index A, B, and C. After storing them, the final step is printing. As we imported pandas as PD, that's the reason why we use PD here. For creating a data frame, instead of using pd.series, we are going to use pd.dataframe. Inside a data frame, we can store dictionaries. With the name of the column, we can store that as a key. Similar to how we store name as a key, for a value, we place that value with a list of values. It will be created as a table or a data frame. How do you handle missing values in data using pandas? In pandas, missing values often arise from uncollected data or incomplete entries. Detecting, handling, and filling missing values in a data frame will ensure clean and accurate data for analysis. In pandas, missing values are often represented as none or NaN. To check if there is a null value or not in a particular column or a table, we'll be using is null. If we want to find the sum of all null values in a given table, we'll be using is null.sum. If we want to fill those null values with mean, median, or mode, we'll be using fill now. In case if we want to remove all those null values, we'll be using drop NA. These are the three different strategies which is used for handling null values. For handling a null value, the first step after creating a data frame or getting the data set is inside a variable, we are going to store the data frame by adding that name of the variable df. Dot is null is used for finding if there is a null value or not. If we want to find the sum of all null values, we will be giving df dot is null dot sum. So this will specifically give us the number of null values in each and every column. After understanding, we can treat those null values. After finding the sum of all null values, we need to treat those null values by replacing with mean, median, or mode. Using fill and a function in pandas, we'll be doing that step. After replacing the null value, in case if we feel like that value is not appropriate to be filled there. In that case, we'll be dropping the whole row or whole column using drop na function that is there in pandas. How do you filter rows in a data frame using pandas? You can use Boolean indexing or the query method to filter rows in a data. Just look at these two options which is available for filtering a particular row based on a certain condition. First option is inside df will giving another df and the condition which need to be used for filtering a particular column or row. Another option available is df.query. Using any of these two options, we can filter a particular row or column based on certain condition. What is the difference between lock and ilock attribute in pandas? Lock attribute is used for accessing a group of rows or columns based on labels, but ilock is used for accessing a group of rows and columns based on integer position. Just by looking into the example, you can understand how it works. Using lock, you can access something using label. You can access any value or particular row using a label. But ilock is used for accessing a value based on integer or position. How do you group data using group by in pandas? Pandas group by function, which is considered as a powerful tool, is used to split a data frame into groups based on one or more columns, allowing for efficient data analysis and aggregation. It follows a specific strategy called split apply combine strategy. Where data is divided into groups, a function is applied to each group and the results are combined into a new data frame. For example, if you have a data set of sales of chocolates, you can easily use group by to group the data by product category, maybe the flavors of the chocolates, and calculate the total sales for each category. In this given example, we have the values of department and salary. So here we are using group by function in pandas to group them by department and calculating their average salary using group by function. So here we used dot group by, and after that we are entering the values of department, and followed by that we are including the keyword salary, and here we used mean to find the average salary. And with the help of group by function we did both things. We calculated the average salary based on department.